Greetings, Moonstompers. We warmly welcome you back to our channel. I'm Mrs. Moonstomper.
And I'm Mr. Moonstomper. Guys, it's great to have you on board. Thanks for stopping by. We really appreciate it. So you've all seen the thumbnail and we'll get to that shortly. So just a quick thing before we start. Thank you so much for subscribing.
Yes.
Thank you so much for commenting. Thank you so much for viewing. Thank you so much for sharing. It is really, really, really appreciated. We can't thank you enough. And I think it's time for a shout out, don't you, Mrs. Moonstomper?
Oh, yes.
Because we haven't done a shout out yet. So we'd like to shout out although belated, very, very happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
To none other than Mr.
Chris Petty.
Chris, if you're watching, a very, very belated, but a very, very happy birthday to you, sir.
Happy
birthday. And thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for subscribing, commenting. Your interactions have been absolutely amazing. So thank you indeed, sir. We really appreciate it. You are a true
Cheers, my dear.
Moonstomper original. So, Mrs. Moonstomper.
Yes.
Today's video. What was the title of today's video?
Away days.
And boot boys.
Boot boys, yes.
So, is this football violence? Not really.
Well, it's to do with footy.
Yeah, so to do with footy, it's the
business.
subculture, isn't it? So, if we said it was football hooligans, well, do you know what? YouTube would probably ban this. So let's not go there because it's not about that. It's about the music,
of course,
and the fashion.
Yes.
From then, maybe up until now. So, in your opinion, in your humble opinion, because this is very opinionated, so we don't always have access to the full facts, but we do a little bit of research.
Yes, we do.
Where does it all start for you?
It all starts from the late 60s onwards.
I would say so as well. So, what's the standout for you?
Well, it's a subculture. It's young men, the way they look with the shaven hair, the buttoned shirts, braces, jeans, and the heavy boots.
Skinhead.
Yes.
So yeah,
skinhead subculture. Yes.
Yeah, very, very, very much so. But I think skinhead was was it coming to an end then? Maybe not. It was I think it was the sideline. So, you know, music apart, the going to a football match, the mob mentality of football, and your quick disclaimer, I'm a Meg King football fan. I'm not going to put my colours to the mast and say who I support because that's really, really not for this channel, is it?
No.
Apart from it's a Midlands club and in the Premier League and the no, enough for that. Right, so, the first song that comes to your mind when it comes to football, what's the first sort of anthem? Because we have to look at walk-on anthems here, don't we? The run-on anthem. Every team's got a run-on anthem, haven't they?
They do, yes.
Yeah, so Leicester City have got...
Kasabian Clubfoot, is it?
Yeah, they have, and the only reason they've got that is because Kasabian are from...
They're from Leicester.
Yeah, there you go.
The Leicester boys.
But they're not all obvious, are they? So Stoke City have got...
Tom Jones's Delilah. Why?
Yeah, why? I don't know, but there you go. Somebody from Stoke City. They'll probably put it in the comments below, so we'd love to hear the story behind that. I've read different stories, but I can't substantiate the truth. But if you're a die-hard Stokey, naughty 40 or anything like that, in the comments below and tell us why. We'd like to know why.
Yes.
Cardiff City were soul boys, weren't they?
They were, yes.
And you'd think they'd have Delilah, wouldn't you?
I know.
Yeah.
Somehow,
but
they don't.
Yeah, there you go. And and it's kind of strange, isn't it? You know what clubs have.
What songs associate
the standout song for you for a football anthem, for a walk-on anthem, what would it be for you, Mrs. Moonstomper?
Liquidator. Harry J. All-Stars.
There you go, yeah. So, there are various teams that lay claim to that, as far as I'm aware. So, Wolverhampton Wanderers, West Bromwich Albion, so those two are die-hard rivals in the Midlands derby. They hate each other with a passion. And also, is it St Johnson? St Johnson, I think it is. And there's a couple of others.
Chelsea as well. Did you say
Chelsea?
Chelsea.
Well, I was going to come to Chelsea because that's obviously the biggest club.
Yes.
And right, I think that's the first club to have it.
The first claim to do so.
But others would lay claim to that as well. But I think it was the first claim to the Liquidator. And there were 3 players who practiced to that.
Okay.
And it kind of became the club anthem after that. And 3 copies of that single were actually given away at Chelsea in the late 60s.
Right. Is that why it stuck? That's why it became synonymous with
things get mixed up in the midst of time, and nobody could put their hand on the heart and go, I definitely know. But do you know what? Like all good subcultures, they just come out of folklore, they come out of word of mouth. The same as skinhead, nobody knows where that actually came from. Nobody can ever pinpoint the word mod and where it really came from. Rockers, etc, etc.
I know, so you just can't hold down, can you, or pinpoint?
No, you can't, because everybody lay claim to it differently, and that's what makes a good subculture, because it's built out of urban legend and urban myth, and it's to me it's a real working class thing. It's a real working class thing because after all, what have kids got? What have they got to look forward to?
I know.
And it was as bad then as it is now.
Gosh.
But it's just people have got first world problems now. That's the only difference. So we digressed there slightly. So the Liquidator.
Yes.
What do you know about the Liquidator that I don't know? You're going to tell me something now, because you went to mention something earlier and we didn't quite get to it. So what do you know?
Oh, the tune, the Liquidator. It was Alton Ellis, the Jamaican the Jamaican reggae artist. He claims that song's his, and it goes, "Girl, I've got a date."
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
And when you listen to them both, you can hear the similarity.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go. So wasn't it the Barrett brothers?
The Barrett brothers from the Hippie Boys.
There you go. So there you go. Okay. And who knew that? But other clubs such as arch rivals West Ham.
Yes.
Now what have they got?
Blowing bubbles. I'm forever blowing bubbles.
Oh wow. Okay, that is absolutely weird, isn't it? And everything in that. So if ever you've been to Anfield, and not that I'm a Liverpool fan, but it's an amazing ground and it's an amazing atmosphere as well, and St James's Park as well.
Okay.
Anywhere that's a northern club, they've got amazing atmospheres, because if football is a way of life in the north of England, it just is. It's just that's it. It's the be all and end all. Because those guys, they work, and it's traditional. They work hard all week, and the thing to let your hair down with was a good football match
on a Saturday afternoon.
And they're passionate. They're passionate.
Way back then, yes.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why it was such a working class thing to go to.
Yes,
but with that came the territorialness as well, and then the violence crept in, and it's the bravado and the ability to prove that people can't, their team might beat their team, but you're not going to beat our fans, and that was always in the back of people's minds.
Isn't that silly?
Yes and no, but that's just it's the way it is, and it's the way it's always been. And it's just that's what boys do.
Boys will be boys, hey.
So I kind of lost my train of thoughts there. So I'm forever blowing bubbles. Where did that actually come from?
Upton Park, where the West Ham club is.
Used to be.
Oh, right.
Because it's now changed. It's a different ground.
I do beg your pardon. There was a school next to there, Park School, and the headmaster, he was a fan of West Ham. West Ham back then. And there was a pupil at his school called Billy Murray, and he was nicknamed Billy Bubbles Murray, or because he resembled the child on the Pears soap, you know, the Pears soap, bathroom soap.
I do. Now we'll put a picture of that on the screen because then you'll see.
Yes, well, way back then they said he resembled the child on the picture on the soap packet, and the name Bubbles stuck ever since.
So Bubbles got blowed every Saturday. Wow. Okay, that's right. I wouldn't advertise that one too much. That's a bit okay.
No,
so,
we didn't.
guys, if you're a West Ham fan, no offence at all. Like, you've got an amazing club, you really have, and a loyal fan base as well.
And because of the association with the school and the pupil being a fan and the headmaster, I'm forever blowing Bubbles became synonymous with the West Ham club.
Okay, so we'll come back to that in a bit.
Okay.
Because what did so the surprise for me is the boot boy, the archetypal boot boy. Now we're going to go into the sort of early 70s here, the sort of like 73, 74.
Okay.
Scar wasn't around and it had kind of died off, had it, and Trojan. So glam rock.
Yes.
They liked glam rock.
They did. They attached themselves to liking the glam rock as well as
Northern Soul.
Of course, yes.
So the Northern Soul, I can't get the glam rock. Although some glam rock is good, I've got to admit.
Oh yes.
But the liking of Sweet.
The Sweet, yes. T-Rex, Slade. Who else? David Bowie, maybe. He was that was his in the glam rock era then.
Mud.
Oh, Mud. I think Mud as well.
And who's it who did Tiger Feet? Who's it who did
You
Tiger
know
Feet?
it was Mud. You know.
That's right. Oh, sorry, that's terrible, guys. Sorry. Right. Okay, please don't shoot.
Exits that way.
I'll get in the bin. Right. So, Rob, we digress, and they liked that, didn't they?
They did somehow.
Right. Okay. So, did they fight to that? Quite probably.
Oh.
Now, Leeds are probably in my opinion, the Leeds service crew, they are probably the archetypical football hooligan of the 70s, and I don't mean that disrespectfully.
Well, they were notorious for that, though, weren't they?
They were indeed, but Leeds were an amazing club. They really are, and they still are today. You know, if you go to, you know, if you watch those guys play, if you see those fans are just all together.
Right.
And they are like I said, it's a northern club, and they are fanatical like you wouldn't believe. It's the be all and end all.
Yes,
it really is. Leeds and other football fans as well, they were starting to dress differently. So the shaven hair and the boots and braces were starting to go out, and then we were starting to get sportswear.
I see, yes. So, Mr. Moonstomper, could you tell me about an archetypical northern fan?
Well, okay, so we mentioned the Leeds service crew. Let's go across the Pennines, and we'll drop into Manchester.
I see.
So the Perry Boys. So the Perry Boys, they frequented Old Trafford Main Road, that type of thing. And Fred Perry was their thing.
Oh, the sportswear.
Oh yeah, no, I'm really partial to Fred Perry. Always have been, always will. But I think it's a wonderful brand, and their polo shirts are just absolutely to die for.
Gorgeous, aren't they?
They're absolutely amazing. I don't know how many I've got. I've got quite a few actually.
Yes.
And so they wore those, and those are the guys that liked glam rock actually.
Okay.
So Roxy Music. David Bowie. So they had that wedge haircut, which was that a David Bowie cut, was it?
I think yes, it was.
It was indeed, and cords and Stan Smith. So Stan Smith trainers. We could put pictures of these on the screen. You can see exactly what they wore, and then they turned into, was it like the Red Army or whatever they call themselves?
I think it was the Red Army.
Something like that. They sent the Red Army, and that was their sort of like their version of the, if you like, their hooligans, for want of a better word. Those are the ones who sort of ran amok. Those are the ones who sort of made a name for themselves. But because they were starting to harness and garner labels and names.
Yes.
Were they the trendsetters for what we know today as or what became the football casual?
Okay.
So if you've all seen films like, if you go to The Firm, perhaps The Firm didn't depict that so well, but things like Green Street, The Football Factory, and the remake of The Firm, where they all wore Tacchini and Pringle and other brands such as Leeds, Puma, Adidas, that type of thing, and you'll see from there. So did that start the football casual? Who knows?
It might have done.
Quite possibly. But in the late 70s, things changed again.
Okay.
And it got a little bit heavier.
All right.
And so the rebirth of the skinhead.
Yes.
Again, and the skinhead of the late 70s and early 80s, which is what I'd have been, had a heavier music.
Yes.
So although they liked two-tone, that type of thing, oi music.
Yes.
Now, oi music was invented by, or the term was coined by none other than Gary Bushell.
Oh, he's the writer, isn't he?
He's journalist and
the
writer.
Journalist and writer.
Yeah, journalist and writer. That's quite an interesting story in itself. But bands such as
Coxsparrow,
Cockney Rejects,
Sham 69,
Foreskins, Screwdriver,
oh yes,
and other bands like that. Now, those bands, a lot of people think those bands came out in the 80s. Some of those bands were as early as 1972.
Oh right.
And they were just in the wings waiting to come through. But when they sort of got to the late 70s, the early 80s, it was a very, very, very heavy, overdriven, almost, in fact, harder than punk music.
I was thinking that it's like
way harder,
heavier, much faster, with a much faster pace.
Yeah, it was.
Pace.
It was. So Sham 69 in particular. Now, fun fact for you: Sham 69 were probably the only punk band who were real working class and didn't actually go to art college.
Oh, I see.
So the Sex Pistols,
Like
they were all, and the other bands as well. But I love those bands. But Sham 69 were probably the only sort of hard punk band who weren't playing at it.
Okay.
They meant it. Sham 69, in my opinion, brought the football chant to music.
Yes.
With songs like
Ocean Boys.
Ocean Boys, yeah, We're All Going Down the Pub.
Yes.
If the Kids are United.
Yes.
Stuff like that. Here's a fun fact for you.
Yes, Mr.
Sham 69, right? They actually got that from a piece of graffiti.
Oh.
And it was Walton and Hersham Football Club 69.
Oh.
They saw that. So Walton and Hersham Football Club is a football club, obviously, and they just saw that and called themselves Sham 69, and the rest is history. There was an Oi band.
Oh yes.
Oi Oi Oi, who were aligned with West Ham in the late 70s, early 80s, beg your pardon, which was
Cockney Rejects.
And what did they sing?
They sang a cover of I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles.
And that actually charted for a brief period of time. I'm sure I remember that on Top of the Pops. And I think West Ham might have used that for a bit as well.
Okay.
So that's kind of strange, isn't it? But there you go, fun fact. But with that, you could see the alignments of skinheads were, dare I say, back in the mix.
Oh.
And the football violence got worse and worse and worse and worse, with different crews springing up, such as Birmingham City's Zulus, and the 657 crew, Stokes Naughty 40, etc, 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 all up for a bit of a fight. And those films were, all those films you see, and not forgetting Chelsea Headhunters and the infamous Intercity Firm.
Oh.
Which that film, The Firm, was based on, but they called it the Intercity Crew, if you remember.
I think so.
With Gary Oldman. Go and check that film out. It is pretty good. Gratuitous violence is the best, if I do say. Right, but you could see in that film, sort of digress slightly, you could see in that film there was a working class aspiring to be almost yuppified. So Gary Oldman was an estate agent.
Yes.
But weekends, wow, it was just completely different.
Plus he was married with a child as well.
Absolutely.
And his wife got fed up with him, didn't she?
She did indeed. But the Intercity Firm, which was different, which was led by different people. So we're not going to name people actually, because you know, that's
it's not good to name drop, is it?
No, that's completely unfair, and sort of naming what different firms did to each other, that's completely unfair as well. And not forgetting obviously Millwall as well.
Oh yes.
Who were absolutely notorious. The Bushwhackers was it, I believe it was the Bushwhackers. Absolutely notorious. And Cardiff City, like I said before, notorious as well. And some of the other clubs as well, absolutely up for a fight. But you could see that football was changing and the casual started to rise with the clothing and the music, and the music was changing as well. In fact, the music actually took a back seat at that point in time, and that sort of knocked it out, and it was almost as though the violence took over and the football became secondary, which is kind of a shame. It really is, because it stopped. It went from one subculture to another subculture.
Yeah. So, Mr. Moonstomper, what changed in the 80s?
Well, quite a lot changed in the 80s. People got a lot more money, disposable income. So away days became a bigger thing, where people could literally, you get charter trains and charter coaches, and people could get to away matches. Transport became better, communication became better, and it just became more of a thing. So more and more fans travelled, although they still had standing in a lot of stadiums, up until the point where they changed it back to seating. And I think Hillsborough, was it Hillsborough? Was this the
disaster?
The disaster at Hillsborough, with the security fences around the pitch, that changed absolutely everything. For the reason being is that literally when that crush happened, fans couldn't escape, and they had to remove those fences. But those fences were put up in the first place to stop people from invading the pitch and fighting each other. Now, your archetypical football fan will wear a football shirt of their team, and you'd like to think, to their home club's game or to the away game. Your typical football casual didn't, and there were many reasons. Number one, they didn't want to be identified as home fans or away fans, and they wanted to give the home or away fans, whoever they were fighting, the elements of surprise. So it was literally, they all dressed as casual as hell, and that's how it went. So all those films you see, although there's probably very little truth in those films, I could probably personally vouch for about 2% of those films being true. The rest is completely made up. Although they did consult alleged hooligans, apparently. It's very far-fetched, and it wasn't really like that at all. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a quick video. This is a bit of a timeline of Boot Boys, away days, right to casuals. Hope you enjoy it. We'll be back in a moment. So, hope you enjoyed that. Did you enjoy it, Mrs. Moonstomper?
Oh, yes.
It was different, wasn't it?
Yeah, different, interesting.
It was so Subculture's a weird and wonderful thing, isn't it?
I think so, yes.
And right, the Liquidator. So moving back to the Liquidator, I'm fixated on the Liquidator only because it's one of my favourite tracks.
It's a good tune, isn't it?
It's an amazing tune. Wolverhampton Wanderers and West Bromwich Albion.
Yes.
Were asked to stop playing that by West Midlands Police.
Yes, there was.
So, I think it was the 2000s or something like that, if I remember rightly.
Around that time.
It was indeed. Now, they were asked to stop playing that because it led to...
The rivals chanting obscenities to each other.
Why would you do a thing like that?
Why?
But Chelsea have suffered that for ever and ever and ever.
Yes.
And literally I've heard what's chanting at Chelsea, at the Chelsea fans, by the away fans, and that is not pretty.
No, especially in front of children as well.
Okay. Well, children might not know what that means.
Okay.
But if you've not heard that chant, then we're not going to play it on here because it's not.
No. This
is not the channel for it. As much as it tickles me, we can't do it. Suffice to say, that's led to that.
The Wolverhampton and the WBA one as well. They'd shout that when doing it well, especially children, the swearing and the obscenities in front of kids.
Well, they still do now. So I work at a Premier League football club on my days off for some bizarre reason, but I enjoy doing that. I don't do stewarding or anything daft like that. I do something completely different. But the language I hear is absolutely astronomical. But it's like that in every football club in the country. It really is, because that's just it's the moment, it's the pack mentality.
Yes.
And that's just the way it is. It's just, people feel passionate about it.
That's how they've made it as well, haven't they, for so long?
They have indeed. So we used to follow a local ska tribute band.
We did, yes.
In fact, we still do actually. We go and watch them as much as we can.
Yes.
And they're absolutely amazing. So if you've not seen the Super Scars guys, go and check those guys out. They're absolutely brilliant. They're really original, aren't they? They've just got it in absolute spades. But they won't play the Liquidator.
They won't.
No, they stopped playing that because of that reason.
Yes.
And what they actually said was, when we go to places within the sort of West Midlands in the Black Country, so the Black Country is where we're actually from, and Wolverhampton Wanderers and West Bromwich Albion are both Black Country teams, so when they play each other, it's called a Black Country derby.
Oh.
But the Super Scars won't play that because they don't know what reaction they're going to get.
Or who's who in the crowd.
Yeah, absolutely, because, at the end of the day, like the football hooligans, they didn't wear football tops.
That's really sneaky, isn't that?
Well, yes, so the reason being was they couldn't be identified as a home fan or an away fan. They could infiltrate each other's home and away pubs and organise their goings on that way.
Yes.
Without being identified by the police and the opposition fans, obviously. So the element of surprise was everything. In fact, it was quite well drilled. Probably not what you see in the films. I don't think the films are really that true. Little element of truth, but not what they'd really portray, if that makes sense.
It's a bit exaggerated in films, isn't it?
A bit, yeah.
Yes.
But not every football fan's like that. Some people just like the fashion.
Yes.
Your Stone Islands and your Pretty Greens and stuff like that. And Pretty Green was actually Liam Gallagher's brand.
Oh yeah, from Liam from Oasis.
Absolutely. So when Oasis came on the scene, they're mad keen Man City fans.
Oh.
I suppose somebody's got to be, haven't they? And did that sort of harness and garner a new set of hooligans, who knows. Suffice to say that because Oasis wore the kind of mod fashion.
The parka, the green parka.
You've got it. You've
and
got
the
it.
attire.
Yeah. Did that sort of give their fans, the Man City fans and the Oasis fans, the whim to actually wear that sort of that fashion?
We don't know, do we?
We
Could
don't.
well be.
Possibly. But going back to the boot boy.
Yes.
So the boot boy.
Or the bother boy.
The bother boy as well.
Boy.
So bother boys, bother boots. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a proper 1970s thing. That is. It really is. And those, when they were caught, used to be sent to Bostals.
Yes, they did.
So if you don't know what Bostals is, Bostals was
It's like an institute for like naughty boys.
yeah, kind of like it's like
a bit of a prison.
It was actually a juvenile detention
centre, yeah.
but run military style.
Yes.
So they would knock discipline into these guys, and away they went, and they would never offend again, or they'd offend again and go to prison forever, or
just in and out of the slammer.
Whatever it was.
Yes.
But they ended up in places like that for causing all that trouble.
Yes.
So here's a fun fact for you, Mrs. Moonstomper. So the band, the Beautiful South.
Oh yes.
The singer.
Paul Heaton.
Yes. He was actually a member of Sheffield's.
The Blades, was it?
The Blades.
Oh yes.
So he was a member of those, which were like the Blades, the business crew, the Blades business crew.
Yes.
They were Sheffield hooligans, and he was a member of those, allegedly. Which is like, okay, go figure. But to look at the bloke,
oh no, I was going to say to look at him,
you wouldn't think it. You just wouldn't think it at all.
Oh my god!
But there you go. So that's what football does to you.
Yes.
It's just it's an outlet, isn't it? It's that outlet, and that outlet's been going ever since.
Yes.
So if ever you go to Anfield, what do they sing at Anfield, Mrs. Moonstomper?
You'll never walk alone.
Probably better than that, but yeah, you get the picture. But if you hear those guys sing that, right? No, I'm not a Liverpool fan at all, not in the slightest. But when you hear that, it's really quite moving.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's a thing. It really is. But when you go to other places as well, and you hear them all sing together, that's pretty cool.
It is, isn't it?
It is, definitely. So here's another weird fact for you, a fascinating fact. In 2012, football clubs in England banned bother boots.
Okay.
Would you believe? So you couldn't wear big boots to a football match. Wow.
I thought that would be earlier, banning bother boots.
You and me both.
Like the 80s,
but
70s,
yeah,
80s,
they banned them. So I think in 2012, sort of people Timberlands, that type of thing.
Oh right.
But they actually banned what they call bother boots.
Bother boots.
How strange is that?
I know, pretty strange.
So that's all we've got time for this week. Now it's a bit short and sweet.
Yes.
Right, but we've got some other things coming up, and what we're going to look to do is a midweek shoot, aren't we?
We are, yes.
Probably release it Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that, maybe Thursday, just to stop the board and setting in. And it's going to be something along the lines of Mrs. Moonstomper's marvellous musical
magnificent
trivia.
Yes.
So this lady is a walking musical encyclopedia, or a sitting musical encyclopedia. And she's got so much trivia, it would put Ken Bruce to shame. Maybe. So we're going to do these shorts. They're going to be sweet. It might be outside the genre of Moonstompers, what we're covering originally.
Of course.
But I think it'll be interesting, and it could cover any subject from the 1940s right up to now.
Yes, of course.
And it'll just be things you didn't know, things you didn't really need to know. things you may want to know, but they'll all be little musical gems. And those videos probably be about 2 or 3 minutes long, but it would just break the boredom. So, what have we got coming up next time?
We have Pirate Radio.
Pirate Radio. So, Chris Petty,
yes,
put in the comments, can we look at doing Pirate Radio? As it was your big birthday the other day, sir, we're going to do Pirate Radio for the next one. So we're going to change our schedule slightly. We've got no objection doing that whatsoever, because these are for you guys. So we're going to do Pirate Radio. Then we've got a couple of other ones coming up as well. And if we could ever jump outside the genre and look at other bands and other cultures, that's something we'd love to do. So guys, if you've got any ideas, something you want to see us do, something you want to hear about, something that's completely different. Chris also mentioned Pink Floyd.
He did, yes.
Yeah, so I think that's a good one. I'm quite good on Pink Floyd, one of my all-time favourites. So let's bring that one on. Although we've got to watch the copyrights on that one, because Pink Floyd are red hot on copyrights.
Yes, they are.
For some reason. But we'll get round that by hook or by crook. So
somehow.
Any ideas you've got, anything you want to see us do, any subcultures, any genres. Somebody at work brought up today post-punk.
I
think that's a good idea, so we might be doing that, because that's right up my street as well.
Yeah.
So all ideas welcome. Until the next time, guys, much respect. Peace out.
I see ya. Bye-bye.
That was like the Spice Girls, wasn't it, really?
Yes.